From the National Weather Service in Raleigh, it's Nick Petro with your routine Monday morning weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. And this briefing covers the period today, the 10th of August through the 16th. That'll be next Sunday. Of course, we always do at least two of these weekly briefings every week. We do one on Monday morning at 11:30 and Thursday morning at 11:30. So we always provide that second one during the week just to let folks know as we're headed into the weekend what has changed, if anything. So let me first start off with a quick rundown of what is going on right now. And you can see what I've got here is both live radar and current temperatures. So we are getting well up into the mid 80s on our way to highs around 90, give or take a few degrees, maybe lower 90s, depending on where you're at. So you can see it's a little cooler back where it's rained. And generally this time of, and look how far-reaching the 80s are. That's just typical summertime air mass. You really have to get up into the sort of the northern plains, up into the Canadian prairies, the northern Rockies, before you see any kind of the temperatures that I actually would really like, 60s and 70s. But this is a very typical summertime air mass. And the only thing that really keeps our temperatures cool this time of year is rain. So that's really the only opportunity, unless a cold front comes through, which is pretty rare in August. Unless we get that rare cold front in August, which doesn't typically happen. The only time we see a break in the temperatures is when it rains. And you can see that's what's happening in Tennessee and Kentucky right now. Will we get any of those thunderstorms? Yeah, I think so. If I put this into a loop, this time of year, I apologize for the loop taking a moment here to load here, but maybe it won't. Oh, there it goes. So, this time of year with this pattern that's in effect or over us, we pretty much are going to have scattered showers and thunderstorms pretty much any day. And particularly this week, every day we'll have scattered showers and thunderstorms. And really, it's just hit or miss. By the end of the week, almost everybody will have seen a thunderstorm once or twice at some point during the week. Perhaps maybe this semi-organized area of shower and thunderstorm activity moving from Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee into the mountains of North Carolina, as the weather system that's causing those drifts by to our south. And let me see if I can get my highlighter there. So there's a little bit of a weather disturbance here, and that's going to kind of drift off to the south and east. And as these pockets and clusters of showers drift off to the south and east too, I think probably, the southern half of North Carolina will have the best chance today to see showers and thunderstorms. Although honestly, any part of central North Carolina could see a shower or thunderstorm. I will point out as I overlay the Storm Prediction Center Day 1 outlook, the light green just means that thunderstorms are expected, not necessarily organized severe. Okay, just light green means ordinary thunderstorms. We can never rule out a stray isolated severe storm, even in the light green area, but the better chances for organized severe storms will be where you see the dark green, that's the marginal. And then the orange, the lighter orange is slight risk, and then the risk just keeps going higher and higher. So you can see Iowa, northern Illinois is going to have a pretty decent chance for severe storms with this squall line moving across Iowa right now as it moves eastward. And you can see these thunderstorms here in this light and this darker shade of green may have a chance to produce severe weather. But for us, we're just expecting general thunder. And again, you can't completely rule out a stray isolated severe storm. So that'll be the case today. And again, as I put the current temperatures, we're on track to easily see temperatures in the around 90, give or take a few degrees. And certainly it's going to be humid, very, very humid. Oh, I forgot to show that real quick. Dew points are well up into the mid 70s. That is incredibly humid right there. When you see dew points approaching mid 70s, that is just downright humid, 76. So obviously that'll push heat indices up as well. All right, so enough for that. And let's get on to the rest of our briefing slides. So again, a typical summertime weather pattern will provide daily showers and thunderstorm chances across central North Carolina. Each day this week will have about the same rain chance. By the end of this briefing period, we're talking by Sunday, most of central North Carolina will have received a couple inches of rainfall from these off and on thunderstorms. And as I mentioned, while we don't expect any organized severe thunderstorms, we can never rule out an isolated severe thunderstorm or two on any given day this week, with damaging wind gusts being the main threat and a couple downed trees here and there. But again, that'll be very, very isolated. And of course, always be watchful for prolonged heavy downpours. Summertime thunderstorms are always going to have heavy downpours, and that could quickly result in isolated flooding of low spots, especially if it's repetitive. So you never want to drive through areas where water covers the roadway. Obviously, we're keeping an watchful eye on the tropics. This is a busy season, and certainly just want to draw attention to that. And as I mentioned, near normal temps this week. In terms of rainfall, each day this week, there's a chance for showers and thunderstorms, and typically those storms will give us heavy downpours, and those downpours can quickly add up. And so by the time of the 7 days over, we're going to see about 1 to 3 inches of rain across most of central North Carolina, although some spots that see repetitive downpours could get a little bit more. But on average, almost all of central North Carolina will see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rainfall over the next 7 days. As we look for the excessive rainfall outlook, the WPC is not highlighting us for excessive rain, although again, any repetitive heavy downpours could result in localized poor drainage flooding. Now, this graphic highlights the severe weather outlook for the next 8 days. And as I mentioned, while no organized severe thunderstorms are expected at this time across central North Carolina, we can never rule out an isolated severe storm or two on any given day this week, with damaging wind gusts being the main threat. And then, as I mentioned, in the tropics, the 5-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center is highlighting an area of disturbed weather that is 600 miles west-southwest of Cabo Verde Islands, and they have that at a 60% chance of forming into a tropical cyclone over the next 5 days. 60% chance. Now, obviously, nothing is imminent for central North Carolina, and that's good news. So we're always just keeping a watchful eye on the tropics. We'll keep our eyes on this one as any other, along with any other disturbance that comes off the African coast. All right. So nothing imminent with tropics, and we're just going to keep our eyes on things. All right. Looking further down the road to next week, we're expecting near normal temps and more than likely a continuation of this daily rain chances. And because there's a daily rain chance, when you add it all up, it's going to generally be above normal precipitation. Okay, so I would say wet, but not like raining the entire time next week. All right, so just to wrap things up, a typical summertime weather pattern will provide daily shower and thunderstorm chances across central North Carolina. Each day will have about the same rain chance. By the end of this briefing period, by the end of Sunday, most of central North Carolina will have had a couple inches of rainfall. While nothing is imminent in the forecast for central North Carolina, we're always keeping a watchful eye on the tropics. Near normal temps this week. You can see the details down at the bottom. It pretty much just plays like a broken record, and that's pretty typical for August. In terms of hazards and impacts, we're not expecting any organized severe storms for central North Carolina, but you can never rule out an isolated damaging wind gust with any of the thunderstorms this time of year. And then finally, always be watchful for prolonged heavy downpours. They can quickly result in isolated flooding of low spots, and you never want to drive through areas where water covers the roadway. One last thing I want to draw your attention to before I end this briefing, and let me see if I can pull this up here reasonably fast, and just give me a moment here to drag this over to the proper screen. And this website here is, of course, the National Hurricane Center. And I just wanted to remind folks, if you haven't already seen this, okay, if you go to the hurricanes.gov and you click on this extremely active hurricane season possible for the Atlantic Basin, this takes you to a news article. NOAA just updated on the 6th of August its hurricane season outlook. Remember at the end of May, we had our initial NOAA's hurricane outlook. Of course, it's updated in early August. And there's the headline: extremely active hurricane season possible for the Atlantic Basin. So let me just scroll down here and you'll see the forecast now calls for 19 to 25 named storms, 7 to 11 hurricanes, and 3 to 6 major hurricanes. And remember, the peak of the season generally runs from mid-August, all of September, and probably most of October, quite frankly, the first 3 weeks anyway. I would consider the peak of the hurricane season. So we have that well ahead of us. It's already been a busy season. Things have really obviously we've had at least 2 systems to deal with ECS, including one of them last week. So obviously, clearly, while we are expecting an extremely active hurricane season, there's never any guarantee of where they're going to go or where they're going to hit. So we just need to stay vigilant. We need to make sure that our preparedness activities are wrapped up and make sure we're done with our preparations, because the peak of the hurricane season is coming upon us quickly. So anyway, with that, I'll end this Monday morning's weekly briefing for Central North Carolina. Thanks for those who joined us live and for those who view after the fact on YouTube. And we'll do this again Thursday morning at 11:30.